Welcome back to Sports Dump, Lewis County's only sports podcast. We're sponsored by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery, Goebel Septic, and Americool Heating and Cooling. I'm Aaron Van Tile, joined by the Chronicle Sports crew, Dylan Wilhelm and Zach Martin. We're in May, and now we have hit...
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I really should have checked the sound settings before we fired that up.
The kids jingle.
That's enough of that.
Christmas music jump scare in May. I love it.
Why? What makes this the most wonderful time of the year for you guys? Is it because you like spring sports the best and the spring's playoff system the best, or just because we've hit the final rundown before summer?
Yes, I'd say both. And
Okay.
Obviously better
The weather's
weather.
finally getting nice after.
Yeah, weather's finally getting nice, and just we're in the home stretch.
All right, we are in the home stretch, which means the playoffs are kind of here. Almost. When did they officially start? Tubi's kind of started,
Technically, they've
didn't
already
they?
started.
Yeah, they've already
2A
started,
2A
yeah.
soccer pigtails were yesterday.
To be district pigtail for baseball yesterday. So
We'll get into that. That's
It's incredible.
too many teams.
All right. So let's start with baseball. The 2B District 4 bracket has been unveiled, and we've already had the pigtail game. That was last night. A thriller in Winlock, where Winlock defeated North Beach to win their first district playoff game in 34 years.
yeah,
I thought that was fake, but then I went back to thinking about it, and they were combined with Toledo for a while, and those teams were pretty good. Their ace pitcher was Matt Gall, who was
Really?
yeah. So he was the ace pitcher for the Toledo Winlock team. They might have
When
been
was he in high school? 10, 15 years ago? Maybe?
2000. I want to say it's like 2010, 11, 12
Yeah, okay.
in that range. Very phenomenal pitcher. Very good baseball player. But yeah, so maybe Winlock hasn't won a game at 34, a district playoff game since 1991.
What did we say? That was 4 popes ago?
4 popes ago.
Done a
Yeah,
pope
Is that how we're
rabbit hole
measuring things
yesterday.
now? Popes.
Yes.
All right.
shout out Pope
There was
Leo.
a pope in the 16th century that only lasted like 16 days.
We
Or was
went
it
down
13?
we went
I don't
down a
know.
rabbit hole of popes the other night.
I can't wait for you guys to work some Pope leads.
We
into your
did
stories.
try
I was
last
trying
night
yesterday.
on the glorious day of Pope Leo.
Oh,
first American Pope.
I got a good one, but I'll hold it.
All
I
right.
didn't get in the story, but I'll get it in the pod.
So looking at this bracket, we've got, let's see, there's first round games, and the winner of those go on to, the first round games are tomorrow. Okay, yeah, so first and second round games are tomorrow. Top 4 teams get byes. Ilwaco and Peel Willapa Valley are the 1 and 2 from the Pacific, and Adna and Napavine the 1 and 2 from the C2BL. So if you lose the opener, are you out? How does
Yes.
that work?
That
So
round of
those are
12
loser-out
is
games?
loser out.
Okay, cool. So Winlock Tootle in a loser-out game, Rainier Forks in a loser-out game, Moss York Raymond South Bend in a loser-out game, and Onalaska Toledo in a loser-out game. Which of those 8 teams has the best chance to knock off the higher seed once they get through? And why is it Toledo?
I would
Yes,
go Toledo.
it is Toledo. That's probably the favorite. I think Rainier could have a puncher's chance against Napavine, even with probably Bullock throwing. I think Rainier could have a puncher's chance because I would bet they throw Howell against Forks, so you probably throw Schaefer against Napavine.
Schaefer, Guernsey have 2
Yeah.
of those 3 available for Napavine.
So I think I'd give Rainiers a puncher's chance.
It really puts you at a disadvantage playing that early game and
Yeah.
presumably throwing your ace, and then you've got to be
Exactly.
a lower seed, tossing your number 2 guy against, a Cal Bullock or who's had this guy,
Cameron
Nakano.
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 Yeah.
So, all right. Any other thoughts on the bracket there? Championship game will be May 17th at WF West. That's next Saturday.
So it's a 12-team bracket, counting the winner of the pigtail. Do we need a pigtail in 2B?
No.
I mean, without pigtails, you don't get that Winlock story.
I mean,
So,
Fair enough.
Counterpoint. But yes, I think it's too many teams.
all right. So let's see. We've discussed the teams.
gate
Who do you
attendance
think the
for
5
Winlock.
teams? Who are going to be the 5 teams through to state? Is it going to be the top 4 in Toledo, or is somebody else going to edge in there?
No, Ilwaco's not going.
Okay, they're the number 1 seed though.
They're
I
not.
think they are unbeaten. I think they were unbeaten in P2BL play, which I haven't seen them. I don't know anything about them other than the fact that they beat PL twice or PWV twice, who I have seen a couple times. PWV looks solid. I would go Adna, Napavine, Toledo. One of the P2BL teams and Tootle. I don't know which one. I want to lean PWV, but I also haven't seen Owako, and I know Owako's beaten them twice.
I'm going C2BL straight through. I'm going Adna, Napavine, Toledo, Tootle, Rainier.
Okay. Moving on to the EVCO 2A baseball. WFS won its first league title in 6 years with a 5-1 victory over Tumwater on Tuesday. Zach was there. They christened the new field as well, right?
No. They
did a whole
They did
thing.
a recognition of it.
Yeah.
They did a recognition of it. Mayor was there. Some Little League teams were there. And some former Bearcat alums were there. So it was a really good, kind of fitting that they win the first league title in 6 years on a day like that, to honor, to christen the field and have the current, past, and future Bearcats there. Took advantage of some errors in the first inning, and then Hayden Rooney, Connor Coleman, and Emmett Goodman combined on a no-hitter. Tomar's lone run came on a bases-loaded walk that Derek Thompson drew, and then they had a chance to – they had the tying run at the plate in the 6th, and Coleman was able to induce a ground out to leave him loaded. It's pretty wild that WFS has won 2 district titles and has finished top 4 in state twice before winning this league. Winning this year's league title.
Old Florida Marlins coded.
Yes,
they've never won the division, but they've won 2 World Series.
Yeah,
has Tumwater won each league title unless if they won 5 in a row?
Because the COVID season didn't happen.
Okay, all right, I forgot about that. That whole thing.
Right, that whole thing.
Pandemic and whatnot,
Right. But no, I'm pretty sure that it was Tumwater. I bet there may have been like an Aberdeen, maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let's not say things we can't take back.
Well, right.
The WIA website is better than it was a couple years ago, but the league standings still only go back to the 22-23 season.
Yeah.
I
would imagine it's probably Tumwater won all those. I can't remember any other like EVCO team being that good during that span.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then Centralia and Black Hills played a wacky win and in game. The Tigers punched a postseason berth despite not collecting a hit. Dylan, what was that all about?
This is what I was trying to fit into a story, but steered clear of it. If you had to take a guess what happened more yesterday, would it be Centralia getting a base hit or Popes being elected?
Well, probably Popes being elected.
Correct.
I could see the white
Centralia
smoke.
got no hit, and they won 6-5.
How did they?
Because baseball.
A lot of errors, a lot of walks, a lot
there
of
was
hit batsmen.
only 2 errors, but if I remember correctly, it was 10 or 11 walks and either 3 or 4 hit batters.
What are those
just
games?
a combination of the 2 errors that did happen, both forced to run home. There's one where a runner on first and third, the runner on first intentionally gets into a rundown, allows the runner from third to score.
Oh yeah, that old chestnut.
Sack fly, RBI ground out, stuff like that. Which it's not super uncommon that it happens, but the fact that it kind of just all happened back to back to back to back in a win and into districts, essentially what unofficial playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
I was just real wacky. And the winning run scored in a wild pitch in the 8th.
Of course.
There was multiple instances where Centralia easily could have been feeling like, here we go again. They went down 4-0 in the first 2 innings. They rally back, take the lead in the 6th, and then they give up the tying run in the 7th. And they're 119 going into this. They could have easily kind of folded and just been like, well, here we go again. They're going to score here again in the 7th. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 in the bottom half. Doesn't happen. Thomas Orr comes in after Caden Young throws 6 2/3 innings of good ball, hit his pitch limit. Thomas Orr retires 4 straight, and then that bottom of the 8th, there was a walk.
Didn't Centralia go down, have their first 2 batters get out, and then they started piecing together something?
I don't even remember. That whole game was just weird. I'm logged out of Game Changer. I don't remember for sure. But John Leedy, there was runners on the corners. They intentionally walked someone to put, to make it a force in any bag, and then the first pitch is a wild pitch, and Leedy comes home. And
does that technically count as a walk-off?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No one gets credit for a walk-off hit, but it is a walk. Walk-off balks happen.
Yeah. Bases
Yeah,
loaded.
okay.
That would have been the
bases loaded
only.
blocks.
That would have been the only like more.
Like,
Wacky thing.
Throw a
Like,
balk in there.
That would have
somewhere.
been the most.
That would have been the cherry
That would have
on
made the
top.
most sense.
Yeah.
That would have been the only game where I would have been like, yeah, that happened. Of course it happened. What do you mean that's weird?
All right, so WF West will be the number 1 seed into districts. Tumwater is the number 2 seed. Are we destined for WF West Tumwater Part 4 for a district title? Kind of looks that way.
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like
yeah.
we might be.
It's the first thing I
the
mentioned to
fact-
him yesterday. They're on opposite sides, obviously, is 1 and 2.
The fact that the GSHL standings aren't settled yet, they don't have a number 1 seed in the WIA bracket, leads me to believe that maybe there is not a dominant, tough team down there.
Columbia River and RA Long are playing for the league title tonight. So all the GSHL stuff will get settled tonight.
Okay.
I think 1 and 2 are still up for grabs. 3 and 4 are also tied, and I also think 5 and 6 are tied down there. So it's
Yeah.
a very
It's
top to bottom league,
Yeah.
at least for the 6 postseason teams.
Well, you know what they
5.
say. If you've got 2 league champs, you don't have one. In the 1A Evergreen League, play is done. They do have a league champ, and it is unfortunately not Tenino. Tenino will be the number 2 seeded at districts. Rochester is number 3. I'm assuming Montesano is number 1.
Yes. And the brackets for that have been out. I wrote the initial notes that I wrote when we were going to originally record on Wednesday. I did speak to text while I was driving on I-5. So, but the bracket has been updated. Tenino is playing Kingsway Christian, and Rochester is playing Le Center in Monday quarterfinals at Hoquiam and Castle Rock.
Who ended up winning league down there? Because that top 3
Seton
was
Catholic.
a cluster. Yeah.
Seton Catholic ended up winning.
Who won district last year, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. So that tracks.
All right. More likely, Tenino and Rochester make it to state or get bounced early.
I'm going to say they make it state.
I ask this every time. They finished, 3rd last year?
Third, yeah.
Third.
Pretty good
And
team.
I mean, Zach saw them non-league games, so grand scheme of things doesn't really matter. Zach saw them blitz by Adna the other day. That's Adna's first loss of the year. I have no doubts that I know will make it through. And I feel pretty good about Rochester too. I haven't really seen them. I've only seen them a couple times this year, and one of them was against Montesano. So, you just kind of tip your cap to Monty in that one. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they both probably make it through. If they both get bounced early, I'd be a little surprised.
All right. Oakville is 6 and 8, but until we see a finalized 1B District 4 bracket,
Which
who
we
knows?
do.
which we have.
And
Nobody knows what's going on in the 1Bs. They're in. We just don't know who they're playing.
but they are the 5 seed and playing
Oakville
a pigtail.
is the number 1, the number 2, the number 3 are settled. The number 4 is not. How is everything? How is
I
the
have
3
no
and the
idea how
5
the
settled,
1Bs
but
work.
the 4 is not?
We can't even look at the standings. They're not on the WI website.
All right. Well, the number 1 seed is Nacelle, then Wakaika and Ocoster, 2 and 3. 4 is question mark, and Oakville's 5.
I was talking to Zach about this just before. I can't talk today. Holy cow. I do like this bracket though.
Yeah, nice
It's
and short.
just pigtail into a semi. The 2 semi winners go to state, and they play for a district title.
Yeah, it's
Great.
nice, simple, and easy.
Piece of cake. All right.
How do you make it into there? Nobody knows. But once we get there, we got it.
All right, this podcast brought to you by Goebel Septic. And Zach, weren't you saying you took a leak in a Goebel Septic sanitation station recently?
I sure as hell did. I was. You ever just leave after taking a piss and you're like, man, that was a good piss. That's how I
It's like
felt.
some
leaving.
white smoke coming out of the top of the Goebel
Yeah.
Septic.
That's how I felt leaving the Goebel Septic sanitation service. Was I'm like, damn, that was an elite piss.
All right, great. Well, if you are in Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Cowlitz, or Grays Harbor counties, you can be as satisfied with your piss as Zach was. Goebel Septic provides septic pumping inspection and riser installation, commercial septic pumping, grease trap services. Never know when you'll need those. And they'll rent you a porta potty and a sink to go with it. Visit goebelseptic.com or call 360-736-2167. Let's go to softball. 1A's Rochester has earned a share of the Evergreen League title with Montesano by beating Elma 12-8 in 9 innings. Zach talked to Joni Guerrero afterwards. What did she have to say?
Obviously, very happy to to get a share of a league title. I think Dylan and I both thought that they would perform very well down in 1A, and that proved to be the case. They won this game without Lena Demers. She had a commitment that she could not get out of. So Leah Hartley pitched all 9 innings, and they scored 5 runs in the top of the 9th to break the 7-7 tie. So they all around a very good season for them, at least regular season. I think they are 14-4, 14-5, something like that. They end the season tonight against Castle Rock before districts start for 1As on Tuesday. So Joni was very happy, and they should be a threat.
All right, and so they are in the District 1 and 4 tournament. Where do the District 1 teams come from? Do we know like how many there are or anything?
It's from the large league. It's that large league with multiple 3A, 2A, 1A teams. It's the Linden Christian Sac Valley League. So the top 4 from that, the top 4 1A teams from that league, the top 4 teams from the Evergreen, and the top 4 teams from the Trico will all be seeded this weekend, 1 through 12. Top 4 get a bye, and that's how that district bracket will shape up. And all those games are at Fort Borst.
All right. And that is May 14th and 17th, which is Wednesday and Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that means Wednesday and Saturday. So Thursday, Friday is the 2Bs at Fort Borst Park?
2Bs is also Wednesday, Saturday.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Up to the 2As. As we record this, the league has one more day of games before the district tournament bracket is released.
This also was not updated from this. But yes, tonight is the last day for the league. Tonight is the last day of league play.
Everything's pretty much locked up, though.
Actually, the entire softball bracket is locked up.
Well, let's just look at the bracket then.
Is Tumwater the 1 for sure?
Yes, Tumwater is the 1 for sure. Aberdeen is the 2. WF West is the 3, and Black Hills is the 4.
So the District 4 2A tournament will be at Rec Park in Chehalis on Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. And let's see, Tuesday. Oh, there's pigtail game. WF West is in a pigtail?
Yeah,
correct.
Interesting. All right, so they'll play Hawkinson in one pigtail game at 6:00, and then Black Hills and RI Long play in another pigtail game right before that. That's down in RI Long. And then, Tumwater's the 1, Aberdeen's the 2 from the EVCO, Mark Morris is the 1, and Ridgefield's the 2 from the GSHL. How many teams go into state? 1, 2, 4. Who are your 4? Who are you taking?
Well, last year was EVCO took all 4, which I don't think is going to happen this year. I think it's a dead even split. I think Aberdeen and Tumwater, and then Mark Morris and Ridgefield.
Morris is undefeated still, I think, if I remember from yesterday. We were talking about
I think they're 20-0, yeah.
Yeah, but who have they played? What do we know?
They've played. They just beat 3A Prairie, which is one of the best 3A teams in the state.
All right, I'm sold.
1-0.
Ridgefield only has 4 losses too, so they'll probably grab the
and 2 of them are to Mark
GSHL
Morris
spot.
Will it be Tumwater and Aberdeen in the district finals? Oh, that Aberdeen Mark Morris semifinal could be a thing.
Yeah. I think if you're Tumwater, you're very happy to be the 1, and you don't have to run to Mark Morris until a district title.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but Camp and whoever the pitcher for Mark Morris is, the Montana recruit, that's going to be one run may seal it.
Yeah, we talked, I think it was the last podcast where I think it was you, Aaron, that had said, in the postseason, when in doubt, go with the best pitcher.
Yeah.
I've seen Lily Camp. I've seen Ella Ferguson. Heck, I've even seen Taylor Tobin dominate at times. I haven't seen the Mark Morris kid, so I'm kind of working with an unknown there in terms of predictions, but I think 20-0 kind of speaks for itself.
All right.
Assuming she's pitched a majority, if not all, of those games.
She has. I can't remember her name.
Henthorn? Something
yes,
Henthorn?
Yeah,
Mackenzie Henthorn is her name, and she is committed to pitch for the University of Montana. So, all right. What are your guys' odds for WF West or Black Hills getting through?
I wouldn't be stunned if it's 2 for 2. I think WF West, as long as Tobin pitches well and they can have the offense wake up a little bit. I think WF West should get through, and Black Hills, I think it's going to come down to how aggressive they are on the base pass. If they get on base and how aggressive they are, because I think if they get on base, they've got enough athletes where they can generate some runs.
I'd be a little more little less optimistic. I'd say it's more of an uphill climb for both those teams. Not necessarily a knock on those two teams, but just because we did just talk about Mark Morris and Ridgefield, how good those two teams have been down there, and then obviously you have Tumwater and Aberdeen who have taken care of them a couple times this season. Yeah. So
All right. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, 2B softball. All right. Thursday was the final day of league games before the playoffs, so Adna had the tiebreak over Napvine. Did they wrap that up?
that
Didn't they?
holds. Yeah, they ran past Morton White Pass.
All right. Congrats, Adna, on another C2BL championship. Napvine finished second and Toledo third. Is that
Correct.
That should have held as well. Yeah.
Yep. Rainier 4th, Ani 5th, Mossy 6th, Tootle 7th, Morton White Pass 8th, and Morton White Pass will play in a pigtail.
all right? So we've got 5 teams in the 2B fast pitch bracket going to state. And who do you think those 5 are going to be?
Probably 4C2BL and then PWV.
Okay, pretty simple.
Yeah. And then are we still in agreement then whoever wins districts is a top 4 seed? Even like what if Napavine wins? Like I'm just spitballing here. What if Napavine wins? Are they a top 4 seed for
yes.
state?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you
Okay.
win the district tournament, the 2B district, the District 4 softball championship, you're a 1 or 2 seed automatically. That's the way it should be. And then if it's somebody other than Adna, then I don't know. They're still 1 or 2, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. There's not like that much up for debate on the 2B tournament, really. It starts Monday at Forest Park.
And Monty. Yeah, the two
Oh, yeah, they're splitting them. Okay.
split them up, and then the rest of the tournaments at Fort Borst.
Yeah, Wednesday and Saturday. Next Saturday at 6 o'clock will be the district championship game. The big one. All right.
When in doubt, all district championships are next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, next
If you're wondering when is my child/person I care about's district championship game, May 17th.
yes.
Oakville picked up 2 more wins after winning their first game of the year, right? They
Yes.
swept Wishkah Valley on Monday. The Acorns may get a playoff berth.
The Acorns have gotten a playoff berth.
They're
They are the
playing-
5.
They won their first game in May, and now they're in the playoffs.
Yes.
Is that correct?
What a
think
time!
so.
What a time to be alive.
Incredible stuff out of Oakville.
They're playing Tohola. They're pigtails against Tohola, who they play tonight.
All right. How are you guys sitting on furniture? Oh, man. Let me tell you, the Elam's Home Furnishings website has 2 extremely athletic-looking people sitting down on one of those new memory foam mattresses, and it makes me want to be in better shape. Check out the new offerings from Bed Gear and their Memorial Day sale. Shop now. What do we got? Oh, performance sleep. You know what? That's what I've been doing wrong. I don't have a performance mattress. You got to be working out
Yeah.
while you sleep.
It's a rookie
That's the
mistake.
trick. Yeah. They've also got performance pillows. Buy one, get one half off. That's a
Ooh.
sick deal.
That is a sick deal.
These pillows look intense. Like, I don't know if I'm in shape enough to sleep on this bed. But, yeah.
I don't have the muscle shape in my neck and trapezoids to get the full benefit of this pillow.
It would destroy my neck. But, yeah, visit our friends at Elam's Home Furnishings for all your home furnishings need. They've got a showroom at 1530 South Gold Street in Centralia, where you can check it all out online. elamshf.com. And now
Bless
it's soccer time. The 2A District 4 soccer tournament is already underway. WFS won a pigtail against Hawkinson 5-0 to get in.
Wrong. They beat Washougal.
I wasn't there. Counting that sentence out in 30 seconds. My bad.
All right. Well, they dominated Washougal 5-0. Zach was there.
That's how bad they lost. I put the wrong team in.
That's
Yeah.
they play Hawkinson in the quarterfinals on Saturday.
It all
All
circles
right.
around.
Just give us like the 20-second overview.
Moises Sanchez Hernandez hat trick. WFS good. Washougal not good.
Okay. And then Centralia lost in PKs to Ridgefield. You know, you could just, for most people, you could sub in Ridgefield, Washougal, Woodland, or Hawkinson into this story, and it would make no difference in their lives.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's like one of those teams
and then,
don't-
Yeah, I
and then
would've
throwing a
noticed,
Hudson's
yeah.
Bay and once in a blue moon.
Hudson's Bay is getting too far. Nobody knows where that is. It's not a historical down south team. They used to be a lot bigger or something. I don't know. All right, so Centralia lost 2-1 to Ridgefield. Are they out? Was that a big
They are
deal?
out.
They
Those
are out.
loser out pigtail.
Okay.
Tough way to go. PKs
It's a crap
comes
shoot.
down to a coin flip at that point. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. In the 1As, Rochester is hosting a quarterfinal against Kingsway Christian on Saturday. How do you like their odds?
Yeah,
I'd say to be determined. I'm
I'd put it at
indifferent.
2/3. I don't know much about Kingsway Christian, other than they've played Ani and Snino a couple times, or not Snino, United. But I don't know. I'm pretty confident in what I've seen from Rochester, and I think if they can get this one, they have a pretty good chance of making it through to state.
Remember that day when they scored like 11 goals a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
it's pretty sick. All right.
They weren't even celebrating at the end. I was trying to get photos, and the kids were just like walking back to midfield as if they had given up a goal. They were like, "Yeah,
we got to get this over with.
Run back to midfield." Yeah.
All right, this podcast brought to you by Americool Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is their business. They provide full-service HVAC installation, services, and repair with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on everything they do. Visit west.americool online to learn more about their various services, or call their emergency service line, 360-996-5806, any time of day or night if you're either too hot or too cold. Americool Heating and Air Conditioning.
I might have to call that number. It's a little warm in here.
It is getting kind of toasty in here. Let's see. Golf and tennis postseasons are underway for some golf stuff. Trevin Salme won a district title from Adna.
Did.
They're playing down in Mid-Valley in Longview.
Mid-Valley, and he is one of 4 local 2B golfers to make it to state.
I thought it was 5. Is the Rainier kid?
It is 4. The 2 Rainier kids finished top 4.
Okay.
So Trevin Salme first, Josh Peralta second, Riley Griffith from Napavine third, and Thomas Sprofsky finished 4th.
Okay.
So those 4 are through, and then Adna as a team beat Rainier to win the team district title.
Do you know where state golf is?
Meadowwood Golf Course in Liberty Lake, which is Spokane.
Oh, okay. I think they
the
played
2A girls are at Tumwater Valley, and 2A boys are at Riverside.
Yeah, we haven't gotten through districts in the A's yet, but we have gotten through league. Ellie Johnson
kind of dominated.
Really good. She shot like 5 over on the day for 18 holes, which is,
pretty good.
Yeah, it's good for a high schooler, yeah.
Especially for a high schooler. She kind of lapped the field, and Black Hills won the team title as well. And then in the 1As, Mallory Gilbert got a top 10 finish for Rochester, I think, in the league tournament, and their district tournament is also next week.
All right. And tennis is also...
Let's see. Subs have happened. Districts have not. So Ellie Mickey and Montesise beat their teammates, Lily Huford and Caitlin Wood, in the doubles subs championship. Both of them are through to districts, both teams. And in the singles, Maya Lackey finished second. She made it to the championship match before losing to Sophie Knudsen from Aberdeen. And Esther Hopkins, also from Centralia, beat Emma Hamilton for third in the 3rd-4th match. She is through to districts. I believe Hamilton is as well, but I think she has to play a pigtail, if I remember correctly. I was talking to Tim Ahern, the Centralia AD, at one of the sites. They were both at Black Hills and Tumwater last week, or earlier this week. So if I remember correctly, Hopkins and Hamilton are through, but Hopkins gets the auto into the next round while Hamilton has to play a pigtail to get in.
Okay. Zach, do you want to give us some track news?
Leagues,
just off the top of your head, anything standing out?
Leagues are coming up here soon. Tiger Stadium is hosting FCO, and then Rainier is hosting C2BL. Those are coming up next week. I was at the Shelton Invite last Saturday. Tumwater kind of dominated. Couple other area winners. Kylie Talley from Onalaska won the girls shot put. Carson Shaw, Tenino boy hurdler, won the 110 highs. But outside of that, it was basically Tumwater dominated that meet. So, but yeah, the important track meets are coming up here very shortly.
Speaking of track, I saw Carson Freeman had 3 hits for Adna the other night.
She did.
Good for her. Finally, some success on the,
I know,
on
right?
the athletic fields. What's
noted shortage of athletic success in Adna?
It's been a tough year for Carson Freeman. How's she looking on track?
She's got the best throw in discus in 2B. The top 4 discus throwers are all from District 4. So Freeman, Janesse Blackburn from Rainier, Lillian Boyd Freeman's Team A and Adna, and then Tally from Onalaska.
All right, cool.
So, yeah.
What are you guys covering Saturday?
2B baseball
Oh boy.
in Napavine, Adna, and PL.
I will be in PL for Toledo Ani, and then the winner of that plays PWV. Rube will be in Napavine for Rainier Forks, and then the winner of that plays Napavine. And then Dylan will be in Adna for Mossy RSB, and the winner of that plays Adna.
I'm glad you remembered that because I did not.
You guys know in those situations you can just go to the second game. Like it's okay. Like you just get there. I would always do that. There's a few years where I'd go early and cover the first game, and eventually I was like, "What's the?"
And then it's like the second inning of game 2, and you're like, dang
Yeah,
it.
Well,
exactly. You're like,
at least in my point in going PWV or going to PL, at least the first game is an area head-to-head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Ani,
one of the teams
Toledo.
is going to get knocked out.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Mossy's going to throw
probably Cobb.
probably Cobb to get to Adna.
Wouldn't it be ballsy, though, if Darren throws like Greason or Mason Adder to
Saves
save Cobb for
Adna.
Adna? Wouldn't that be
Is it
ballsy?
Cobb or Kolb? I've heard
Kolb.
both. Is it Kolb?
I don't think
Okay.
it's Cobb.
Still. Wouldn't that be ballsy, though?
That would be.
Yeah,
That'd
you
be a
know, that's
play.
the kind of move you got to make if you want to make a district run. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Check out cronline.com/sports to read all about what these
And
guys are covering.
Maybe with the new pope, the 1B District 4 softball trophy will make an appearance.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, probably not. Let's not say things we'll regret saying later.
All right, talk to you guys later.